and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. It's 8 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. This is a big developing story that I think is going to get national attention. Okay, this coming from the Denver Gazette. Colorado Attorney General now suing Mesa County Sheriff's Deputy over abuse? No. Over shooting somebody? Nope. Over harming somebody? Nope. Over assisting ICE. By the way, these are the same people that told Danielle Jurinsky, or actually threatened to investigate Danielle Jurinsky over raising concerns about illegal immigrant gangs in Aurora. And she was exactly right. The New York Times even saying she was exactly right about all this all along. They claim that illegal immigrant gangs in Colorado were just a figment of Danielle Jurinsky's imagination. And yet, in light of their failure to actually take illegal immigration and gangs and violence seriously in this state, what are they spending their time doing? Oh, they're going after that sheriff's deputy that text messaged some ICE agents that there was an illegal immigrant. Gosh, this one is going to get big. This one is going to get big. Mark my words on that. We're going to get to this next. Now it's time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Hey, good hump day morning. 69 with clouds in Denver, expecting a high of 83 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, Governor Polis scrapping proposed plans for a nearly $30 million pedestrian bridge to Colorado's state capital. Polis says the overwhelming response in opposition after a public survey showed nearly 94% of respondents said no helped set the state's spending priorities.
How can we make sure that every precious state dollar we have goes to the best purpose? I think other people cared about where it was, what it looked like. We didn't dig down on why. I mean, you're going to hear a bunch of answers on why. Certainly, we need to spend every state dollar the best we can.
Only less than 4% supported the idea, which was intended to mark Colorado's 150th birthday. Critics called the bridge unnecessary and too expensive, while preservationists argued that it would disrupt the historic Civic Center. Yes, it would. Polis says he's relieved to drop the project and will now focus on more meaningful ways to celebrate the state's anniversary. Clean it up, make it safer.
President Trump has made no secret of his dislike for Fed Chair Jerome Powell, but disagrees with a lot of decisions he has made. You, though, have said you believe the Fed Chair should remain in his post, despite the president saying that he'd prefer him to be ousted.
MSNBC host evidently drank like 100 cups of coffee this morning. He is geared up talking to Scott Bessent about Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who has not resigned yet, but never too late for too late.
Should the president just simply say, I'm going to let the Fed chair finish his term? Wouldn't that supply a degree of comfort and stability to the markets that seem to rattle every time the president suggests that Powell should be go?
Well, I'm not sure where that question comes from, because President Trump has repeatedly said he's not going to fire Chair Powell.
So
he might like for him to resign, but he's not going to fire him. He's said that on numerous occasions. I think he may have even said it again yesterday.
Well, the pressure, then if that's the case, then you think the pressure campaign, which is a fairly incessant pressure campaign from the president on the Fed chair, is that a good thing for the stability of the nation's economy?
I think anyone who goes into public service should expect pressure.
That interview went downhill quickly. National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard coming out with more on Barry today.
The threat to our democracy doesn't just come from Donald Trump or the current batch of Republicans in Congress or the Koch brothers and their lobbyists or too much compromise from Democrats or Russian hacking.
There it is. And he just kept on pounding that 3 years after he created the lie. 3 years after. I mean, it just continued. He kept jamming the garbage into the minds of anyone who had listened to him, and the MSM, they just protected him and toted it as well. 47 on Tuesday.
If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one they... Look, he's guilty. It's not a question. I like to say... let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries.
The DOJ also working to set up a meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's partner in crime, of course. Maxwell serving a 20-year prison sentence on sex trafficking charges. Ozzy Osbourne has passed away at the age of 76. Billy, Ozzy's greatest song. What do you think? Billy may know.
Sorry. We were talking about
I was working on the phone.
Yeah. Okay, favorite songs. Okay. Ozzy favorite songs.
Man.
Oh no, I heard it in the back of my ear. So I know where we're going with this one. Favorite songs, I've got two of them. And I think that if you're going to start off someone on a Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne journey, you start with War Pigs. That, to me, is the quintessential best introduction to Sabbath and what Sabbath is and what Ozzy can do. Second one, then, is probably Paranoid. We can keep walking down there, but War Pigs, because while it was interpreted at the time as being a very dark, evil song, in fact, the original name of the song, I believe, was supposed to be named after a pagan festival. It does have some occult origins, but they decided to go with War Pigs specifically because, and again, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with this inside of Sabbath, but it's the bassist Geezer Butler that is the lyricist. He's the one that writes the songs. Ozzy just sings them. It's not Ozzy writing these songs. And War Pigs is Geezer Butler's reflection on the Vietnam War. At the time they're writing it, when it's coming out, Britain is on the cusp of being involved in Vietnam, and they're seeing what's happening with the U.S., and the society is really worried about what's going to go on there. And so War Pigs is a reflection. And in fact, it's based, in part, Geezer Butler has said, on an early Bob Dylan song that is also a protest song. So basically, it's not necessarily a war protest, but it's a reflection on the evil that man can do to ourselves. So it's kind of deeper than what many people believe. Plus, song frickin' rocks. And then Paranoid is fantastic because, of course, they're off the same album. And the album was originally supposed to be called War Pigs, but the record company thought that was not going to be okay, so they eventually named the album Paranoid. Now, Paranoid wasn't even supposed to be on the album. Paranoid's a song that was written in about 30 minutes' time because they're cutting this thing for vinyl. And on vinyl, as we remember, you have a certain amount of time that you can put on the front half of the record and on the second half of the record. They've got a 3-minute hole. They need something. They can't just have 3 minutes of dead space. And
Is
so
that
they had,
right?
that's how they wrote Paranoid. Paranoid clocks in at 2 minutes and 56 seconds because it had to fit that 3 minute hole. The only reason it exists is because of that. It's a throw in after all the other recordings were done, after all the other mix downs were done. They had an extra 3 minutes and they put together Paranoid.
Cool.
Yeah. But again,
that is cool. I love it.
Yeah,
only Billy Thorpe would know that. Very few people would know that.
And again, can't do long division, but I know that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
That's, again, I'm mostly useless.
Dude.
My wife reminds me often. Some of my kids do too.
You're a blessing. Thank you.
I'm something. I'm not sure what it is, but hey, I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you.
That is awesome. 47 will deliver the keynote address at the AI Summit in D.C. today. His appearance is coming the same week that OpenAI CEO Sam Altman warned artificial intelligence will eliminate entire job categories and become a destructive weapon used by nations around the world. Rockies beat the Cardinals 8-4, and getaway day today if you want to see some baseball at 1:10. First pitch at Coors Field. 72 in Brighton, 71 in Greenwood Village, 73 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast going to be partly cloudy across the Denver metro and front range. Scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Cooler today in the middle and upper 80s with middle and upper 80s Thursday. Scattered showers and storms through the afternoon and evening tomorrow, then trending isolated Friday with highs lower 90s. Mainly dry this weekend with sunshine, highs mid-90s. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691 or visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
I got a lot of messages about this story. I mean, this one's building. People wanting to raise money, people contacting ICE, Tom Homan, about this. Now, you may remember this sheriff's deputy stops this young lady. She's driving too close to semi-trucks out in western Colorado. And they have very pleasant interaction. Nothing wrong with it. Here it is.
You are way too close to that semi. Oh. He even had to brake check you to get you off a little bit. How about just a warning? That work for you?
I'm so sorry. I just didn't want to speed, so it's kind of terrible.
Where are you from? You got a little bit of an accent.
I'm from Utah.
You're from Utah? Okay. How long you lived in Utah for?
Like 12 years.
Born and raised or no?
No, I was born in, oh my gosh, I always forget. I was born in Brazil.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then my parents moved.
And then, like I said, this is just a warning. So once you get where you're going, you can just throw it away. There's no court, there's no fine, there's no nothing. Let's take it easy on the semis, okay? That semi,
I'm sorry.
Couldn't even see you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, you're good to go. You have safe travels, okay?
You too.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the day.
You too, thanks.
Okay. Then allegedly, he goes on to a group chat and talks about the fact he pulled over this lady from Brazil. Well, ICE agents happen to be on this group chat and go off and pick her up. And there's some complications with her legal status here in the United States. So what happens? What does the Attorney General do in light of this? Well, not only is there an investigation taking place within the agency itself, the police agency, the Attorney General has announced that he's going to sue this Mesa County Sheriff's Deputy over assisting ICE. Here's the article from the Denver Gazette. Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser filed a civil lawsuit against a Mesa County Sheriff's Officer's deputy who tipped ICE off via a routinely used multi-agency communications channel. Signal. It's a Signal chat. To a college student who had overstayed her visa. So she broke the law. Right? I mean, there's no argument to that. She's overstayed her visa. That is breaking the law. So I just want to make it clear. The sheriff's deputy alerting others that there's somebody who has broken a law. Now, he didn't yell at her. He didn't scream at her. He didn't assault her. None of that stuff. Okay? Weiser filed the case before the county's sheriff has completed its investigation into the incident last month on I-70. And announcing the lawsuit on Tuesday, Weiser said it aims to require the deputy to, quote, follow state law that bars state agencies and local governments, employees from cooperating with federal officials on immigration civil enforcement actions. I guess part of what drives me crazy about this is that when asked if we're a sanctuary state, they deny it. No, we're not a sanctuary state. We only have this law and now lawsuits against state agency, local government employees from cooperating with federal officials. This is the quote-unquote top law enforcement agent in the state. That's what he claims to be. Making sure he is sure as hell going to enforce this law. You talked with a federal law enforcement agency? You sure did? Well, I'm going to bring the power of the state government down upon your terrible violation of the law. Oh, she's here illegally? Oh, she's overstayed her visa. Never mind that. How dare you talk to federal law enforcement about this young lady. On June 5th, a University of Utah student was pulled over by Alexander Zwink. Z-W-I-N-C-K. I think that's how you pronounce it. By the way, I've asked anybody on X to please connect me with this young man. I don't know if he's young, but to connect me with this deputy because I'd love to hear his side of the story. He's a canine officer assigned to the county's drug interdiction teams for following a semi-trailer too closely. Zwink, the deputy, asked Caroline Diaz-Goncalves where she was born and was released with a warning. Here's what happened next, according to the Weiser lawsuit. The officer immediately uploaded the driver's personal identifying information to a Signal chat that the deputy knew included federal immigration officers. The Signal chat is also used by federal drug enforcement agency officers. Federal immigration officers then ran the driver's information through their databases and told the deputy that although Diaz-Goncalves, a Brazilian national, had no criminal history, her visa had expired, the lawsuit said. Instead of ending the traffic stop, as there was no further criminal law enforcement purpose to effectuate, deputy then took affirmative steps to assist the federal immigration officers in ultimately detaining the driver for the purpose of enforcing federal civil immigration. A short while later, after exiting I-70 at Loma, U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement agents stopped, arrested, and took her to a detention center in Aurora. Diaz-Goncalves, who was born in Brazil and came to the U.S. under a tourist visa when she was 7, had been living in Utah for 12 years. She overstayed her visa about a decade ago and has a, quote, pending asylum case. There's no reason for asylum here. Diaz-Goncalves' lawyer now claims that the sharing of information was improper in a case that puts yet another spotlight on Colorado's policy, which bars local law enforcement from cooperating with federal agents on immigration enforcement. This year, Colorado legislators expanded the law's prohibition on information sharing to all political subdivisions of the state. So the state of Colorado, just a reminder, the state of Colorado really doesn't care what your legal status is. That's not our business. You here illegally? You've overstayed your decade or your visa by a decade? No. Oh, you talk to a federal law enforcement agent, Mr. Sheriff's deputy. Oh, heck no. Oh, no. Now we're really going to get it going. Now the power and the system is going to step in. You stay here illegally? You overstay your visa? No big deal. Oh, you talk? Oh, now the big dogs are coming out. The law's backers have argued that Colorado policies aim to keep the federal government from, quote, commandeering limited state public safety officials, right, for their own purposes. And the statutes seek to preserve the trust that has been built up over decades between the police and the community by preventing this federal entanglement. Critics, on the other hand, have sought to repeal this and other sanctuary laws. They also blame the police for drawing into, or the policies, for drawing into Metro Denver some 40,000 people who illegally crossed America's southern border. During a hearing at the state capitol on a proposal to undo the sanctuary laws, Douglas County Undersheriff David Walcher said ICE officers are only trying to do their job. That's exactly right. It is a federal law. And if you're here breaking it, why we have to create these jurisdictions where, God forbid, you talk to each other, it's crazy. It has nothing to do about maintaining the trust that has been built up over decades between police and the community. It's about turning another eye and essentially ignoring federal immigration laws so that illegal immigrants can live in this country. That's what Democrat leaders of Colorado want. They want illegals to live here. They have no problem with it. Mike Johnston says we've become a vibrant community with all the illegal immigrants that now are working in our communities. They want illegal immigrants here. What they don't want, and what they're willing to use the power of the government to shut down, is a local law enforcement officer, God forbid, coordinating with ICE. To the point where Douglas County is suing over this, if you remember. Because what we have found out, experience tells that, well, if you're here illegally, you tend to do other things illegally as well. Well, not everybody, but good indication that you might do other things illegally. And this has created a whole host of problems where local law enforcement...
Is it necessarily an indication?
Sure. You've already broken one law. Why wouldn't you break some others?
No, but the issue being that immigrant population, legal or otherwise, tends to commit crimes at a lower percentage rate than the average legal American citizen population. But you realize
they've all committed a crime already.
No, but what I'm saying is
100%.
You said...
And I said it's a good indication that you might want to create some other crimes.
You said, no, it's a good indication that they could commit other crimes. And that is not what the statistics show.
Statistics show that they've 100% committed a crime.
Statistics show that they do not go on to commit crimes in a larger percentage per capita than Americans already commit crimes.
Other crimes.
Yes.
But they've all committed one crime.
Yes.
So the statistic is 100%.
No, but you were drawing the conclusion that because they did X, they will do Y. That is not borne out by the statistics. That's not what everything shows.
And the statistics show 100%.
That's what I'm 100%
100% of them have committed a crime.
The statistics show that they do not go on and commit other crimes, and especially not at the level. Hang on, that's not what you said. You said an indication.
I didn't say that they all are going to.
No, but you said
it's a good indication that they might be people that already commit other crimes, right?
It's not a good indication because per capita, as a percentage, they commit crimes fewer than Americans do. So
they all committed 100% of crimes.
No. But the issue is going on to. You keep going back to the first statement. The thing that I objected to was the continuation, where you talk about it's an indication.
What you're trying
to say, indication, and it's not an indication. It is flat out not an indication.
You and what other immigrant advocacy organizations try to bifurcate is, well, yeah, they may have committed one crime, but then some people, they live here quietly. So we should just let them.
The issue is that I'm pushing back on is the causal relationship that because they crossed into our country illegally, they will go on to commit other crimes. That's the allegation, and that's not borne out by statistics.
You don't at all see that as plausible.
Hang on a sec. Wait.
Because they've already committed one crime, maybe they might commit another crime.
Here's the
Why
thing.
not, right?
Here's
Why
the thing.
not?
Earlier in the show, we had a story about a large object in space that someone believes it could possibly be something from an alien species, could be an alien intelligence that sent it this way. Also, other people believe that it may actually, come and smash into Earth. Those two ideas are plausible. Are they significant statistically? No. So while plausible,
Bill,
it doesn't mean significant or statistically likely.
Help me understand where that statistic comes from. That they don't go on to commit other crimes.
From the law enforcement people and the crime people.
And who is that? Who's reporting that?
I'd have to go back and look at these specific studies, but again, can you show me anything that shows the opposite? Because everything that I see,
because 100% of people that have been here have already committed a crime.
Hang on a sec. You're stuck. You're stuck on the first step. No. You're stuck. Yeah, you're stuck on the first step.
I'm proving
you're working.
that
you're
they tend to be people that break crimes.
No, your
commit
allegation. Hang on a sec.
Because they all committed a crime. 100% of them did.
Nope. Hang on. The idea is tend to, meaning they continue. We don't see a continuance. It's not borne out statistically.
And I'm asking who
it's not borne out
brought
statistically.
That statistic up.
I will have to go and look at the research, but again, all I'm going to say is until you show me any statistics that show the opposite, your argument about where it comes from is largely irrelevant.
No, it's totally relevant.
Show me statistics that show the opposite. Show me anything that shows the opposite, please. Please show me anything that shows the opposite.
It is a matter of logic that if you have a group of people that you have cataloged and said have broken a law, they, by logic, 100% of them have broken a law. And what I'm saying is that these people that have broken a law are law breakers.
That's not what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
You're saying
they're literally lawbreakers.
No.
By definition, they are lawbreakers.
No, that's not where you stop the statement. You're the one that is bifurcating your statement right now. You're the one that is wanting to stop at the idea that they are criminals because they cross the border illegally. I've never argued that. What I'm pushing back on is the assumption. Hang on a sec.
They are all criminals.
Hang on.
And then what Phil Weiser did is say, don't
Jeff,
you dare talk to each other
Jeff,
when dealing with these 100% criminals.
I am not talking about what Phil Weiser said, okay? I'm returning to the point where I started, which is the assumption that they go on to be criminals is not borne out by the statistics. That's it. Full stop.
Hold on.
End of story.
The criminals go on to become criminals?
No, they go on to commit more crimes. That's what you were saying. You said that because they did
I said that this is a really good population to have extra law enforcement coordinating with each other. Because they are 100% all criminals.
No, that's not what you said. You said that
that's exactly what I said.
You
said, and
they're
a good indication that these 100% criminals
there it is.
Are going to be 100% criminals.
Yes, indication.
And then
indication. No, you said indication they're going to commit more crime. That's where I'm pushing back. That is not borne out by the statistics. Until you can show me statistics.
Who provides those statistics?
Again,
because I didn't bring up the statistics.
Again,
you did.
Okay, I will go and look, but until you provide me with other statistics,
and
who provides them is largely irrelevant.
No.
Yes, it is.
Because my guess is they're not really being all that honest about it.
Oh, yeah, because I did. Because
no, I just believe it. I believe that it's likely that they, are not covering all crime out there to make sure that they're legal or not, because here in Colorado, our statistics don't really show that. We don't keep track of it. This state, however, is willing to penalize a deputy for even talking to ICE. You think the statistics are all that accurate?
If the statistics came out and said that 9/10 of people that cross the border illegally go on to commit further crimes, most of them violent, you'd be citing that and saying we got to get them out of here. So the only reason you try to disbelieve the statistics is because they disagree with your premise. That's it. It has zero to do with the actual statistics.
My point
it's just you're going to believe. You're just going to believe what you want.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah, regardless
that you
of the
have
facts,
a group of people
you'll believe what you want.
Who 100% are all criminals, right? And what Phil Weiser has said is we don't want our local law enforcement, with regards to this community where 100% of them are criminals, coordinating with federal law enforcement because we believe they are a vibrant addition to our community. That's the juxt of all this. Okay? Phil Weiser, Democrats in Colorado, believe a group of people that are 100% criminals, because they all broke federal immigration law, are an important part of our community, so much so that if you, deputy out in Mesa County, coordinate with federal immigration officials, we will sue you. Not the people. We're not empowering our local law enforcement to go work with federal law enforcement to get rid of people that are here 100% illegally. No. We are going after anybody that tries to coordinate with these federal law enforcement agents. We're going to bring the weight of the state upon them. How dare you?
I have studies from Cato, Stanford, Northwestern, and Carnegie that all say immigrants commit crimes at a lower percentage than the regular population.
The 100% criminals all commit lower crimes?
Hang on. Go on to commit crimes at a lower percentage than the native
Bill,
population.
I'm challenging this entire notion because they're all 100% criminals. I don't, like, we run off there and we go, they might not murder people as much as somebody here in America.
Is that important?
Yes.
It's important. Yeah, it's important as to them not murdering people. Is that important? Is it? Or is it just the idea?
Not murdering people is important.
But
you
wasn't that
guys
the
are
cell?
trying to create this distinction. You're going,
I didn't create a distinction.
The people here in America are more violent than these illegal immigrants.
We were
and
sold,
I'm going, this group is 100%.
Nope.
They're all crime breakers.
We were sold.
100% of them are.
No.
And you're going,
Jeff,
they don't behead people as much as Americans do.
We were sold migrant crime wave. That was the sell from the Trump administration.
We were sold mass deportations, Bill.
We were sold
mass deportations.
No, the mass deportations were because of the migrant crime wave.
No, that's because 100% of them are criminals.
Can we go to the tape? Let's go to the tape. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's not going to play on me, is it? Oh, it doesn't want to play on me. That's not good. Well, I've got audio that we can play. It doesn't. That's not what it says. That's not. Let me see if I can bring. I'm going to have to do some stuff here. Where is it?
All right. Well, we got to get to a break anyways.
Yeah, we do.
The point on this whole case is you have Phil Weiser, who's going to use the power of the state and its entire law enforcement mechanism to go after illegal immigrants who are here illegally, who have absolutely broken the law. Nope. In fact, they're banned from doing that in the state. What they are going to spend their time doing, what they are going to go after, is this sheriff's deputy. Because God forbid, did he assault this woman? Nope. He notified ICE on a group chat that there was an illegal immigrant in the state. That's where we are.
Was she part of the migrant crime wave?
Yes.
Is that she's part of? She's really the violent. She's part of the killing and the raping that's going on.
No, the crime wave. Yeah, because she committed a crime.
Did
she commit a crime?
But it was migrant crime waves. These killers. So she's one of the killers or rapists
That's not
that
what
was
you
let
said.
out
You
of
said a crime wave.
Yeah, that was.
Did
the
she
cell.
commit a crime?
The cell was the large migrant violent crimes.
Commit a crime?
Hang on a sec. Violent migrant crime wave.
Yep, you just said migrant crime wave.
Yeah, but the issue is they come in here and they create the crime. They do the bad things. That's what the cell was. Yeah, you're the one that's trying to separate things.
You don't think breaking illegal federal immigration law is a bad thing?
Here's the thing. I don't think it's violent.
That's not what you said. You said it was a bad thing.
No. I said violent. They were told we were sold.
You said it was an immigrant crime wave.
Jeff, that's not me. That is Donald Trump that says we have the killers and the rapists being released from prisons and insane asylums coming here to do crime.
100%.
So she's one of them.
No.
She was released from a
She's
prison.
not a rapist.
Wait, hang on. But Donald Trump said that's what we were doing. And that's exactly what I'm saying. You
Bill,
said, yes, that's right, and now she isn't. So is she part of the people that are these criminals that are coming here to murder and rape and we're let out of the prisons or not? Yes or no?
No, she's not.
Okay.
But Bill,
so maybe that's different.
Wait, Donald Trump said he was only going to
get
violent criminals out? There's no mass deportations. There's targeted efforts to get criminal people out.
The mass deportation was because of the violent criminals.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. I have the audio.
Crimes.
I have the audio. We'll play it when we get back from the break. I have the audio. I have the audio from Trump and I have audio from Fox talking about the dangerous, violent migrants that are tearing down our cities. And that's why we have mass deportations. Is she one of them? Was she tearing down our cities?
But everybody that breaks the law, we're actually going to
tearing down our
enforce.
cities? Was she tearing down our cities and raping and murdering people? No, she wasn't. That's the issue.
So she deserves to live here.
Here's the idea that she's not part of that migrant crime wave that was tearing apart our cities.
Does she deserve to live in America?
Depends on her asylum claim. I know she's got an asylum claim. Depends on what it is. I am skeptical, but who knows?
Let's say she doesn't have an asylum claim.
That she does or doesn't?
If she doesn't. If the asylum claim, which, by the way, like 80% of them are rejected. So, no asylum claim.
It's not 80%. I don't believe so. But that's okay. We can worry about that a different day.
Okay, so regardless, let's say she doesn't have an asylum claim.
Yeah.
Does she deserve to be in this country?
Depends. I mean, if she's been here and she hasn't...
What? Bill, we run around in these circles all the time.
Well, here's the thing. If
she's here illegally.
Wait, hang on.
Does she deserve to be here if she doesn't have an asylum claim?
Here's the issue, though. This is what I've been hearing. I've been hearing people bitch and moan for over 15 years about, these migrants come here, they don't assimilate, don't learn our language, don't work. And guess what? She's learned our language. She's assimilated. She's exactly...
So just say it. Just say she should be here.
She has done everything you asked.
Then just say she should be here.
I have no problem with her being here.
Okay.
Zero problem with it.
So you agree that Phil Weiser should target the sheriff's deputy, sue him for interacting with federal ICE agents so that this beautiful young lady that adopted our language is going to become a doctor should remain in this country?
No, I don't think Phil Weiser should be suing this policeman.
So the policeman was right to connect with ICE?
No, he was wrong. But I don't think Weiser should sue him.
Okay.
And the reason is because here's the reason. No, let me. Give me a minute to explain.
Okay.
Okay. Give me a damn minute here. Okay. The officer should not have shared her immigration status in the signal chat. He should not have done that. That is against policy and procedure. Because of the people that were involved in that chat. That is against policy and procedure. Should he be sued over it? No. Should he be criminally charged over it? No. Should he be taken into an office and talked about it and said, don't do that again? Yes. Are the unintended consequences the fact that she is now picked up by immigration and possibly going to be deported? Yes. Is she part of the migrant crime wave that Donald Trump, Fox News, Breitbart, and everybody else yelled about beforehand? No. That's it. That's it. I'm fine with her being, I don't have any issue with her being in the country, but I don't think the officer should be sued. I don't think the officer should be criminally charged. Is he incorrect for sharing the information? Yes.
Bill, in what you just described, no one's held accountable for any of the things they break or violate. So whether you're this young lady who's overstayed her visa by a decade, we move on. Oh, you're the sheriff's deputy who broke Colorado law? We'll have a talking to you.
So
but we're not actually going to enforce anything that's on the books. So because God forbid anybody be held accountable to anything.
Well, here's the thing. So you're in favor of Phil Weiser going after the policeman?
No. I think what you have are two laws.
But you're about accountability.
You have two laws in conflict. This law is stupid. I will tell you.
Where's your accountability?
I will tell you this law is stupid.
Where's your accountability?
Bill, I'm telling you this law is stupid. You want to try to hold both laws at the same time. I'm telling you one of these laws is really stupid.
No. I'm saying that it's stupid as well. But somehow I'm the one that's not willing to hold people accountable, yet when you come to the same conclusion that I do, you're holding them accountable. Different rules for different sides of the glass. That's exactly what it is.
Are you willing to admit that the sanctuary state policies in Colorado are stupid?
Oh, yeah, they're stupid. I've said that over and over again. Yes, they're absolutely stupid. Yes. Yes.
Because why?
Because I think they're ineffectual and dumb. I don't think they accomplish what you say they can. And I think it's the wrong way to debate policy. And this is sanctuary on anything. Declaring ourselves a sanctuary city for immigrants, sanctuary city for Second Amendment, sanctuary city for free speech, whatever the hell you want to do. I think it's dumb.
So federal immigration law matters.
Yeah.
But you're willing to let her stay here.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't get it.
Why not? Why not? Because we have a law here, and you're against enforcing that one. So somehow the other law that
I'm willing to say a law is stupid.
Yeah, and I have over and over and over again said that our federal immigration laws are stupid, that they are misapplied and misinterpreted, and it is the function of our immigration system that encourages illegal immigration. So while I acknowledge and think that the federal law should stand, how we apply it and the functionality that we use to enforce immigration and how we are allowing immigrants into the country is stupid. Yes,
okay, so
that's
this
my problem with it.
Young lady who overstays her visa violates federal immigration law. What was wrong with the federal immigration law with regards to her case?
The process and procedure in order to immigrate, because it takes a decade. And the idea of how that process has to happen. That's it. Because this seems to be a person that would be, at least from what we know right now, would contribute to our society. It doesn't seem to be a negative for having her here. So it seems to be a net positive. But the process and procedure involved in immigrating into the country takes too long. So it is an incentive to ignore leaving the country on a visa. It's an incentive to pay a coyote to get you here illegally. It's an incentive to arrive here to tourist and just never go home. That's an incentive because the process is so broken on the other end. I can acknowledge the law is there and should be there, but I also can acknowledge that the process and the enforcement and the procedure we have are also stupid. That's fair too. Yeah. Just like I acknowledge the law about not having the police officer talk and communicate with ICE about someone's immigration status is a dumb law, and that's why I would not punish him in this situation. Because I think it's a dumb law. It's not that I'm not holding him accountable. It's that I'm trying to be reasonable in the situation. And I also would hope that on the other end, people would be reasonable looking at the individual in this case and realize she's not the migrant rapist and murderer that we were sold during the Trump campaign about who we were going to get out of the country. She's not it. Get them first, then we can talk about the rest. But when you're arresting these people and deporting them, I got an issue because we were sold migrant crime wave, and we all heard it. Donald Trump talking about them emptying prisons and jails and insane asylums and
exactly
sending
right.
the worst here. So is she the worst 100%. Of the worst? Is she? No, they weren't.
And you live in this weird world
Jeff, there's
where
no proof
all of a sudden,
doing that. There's no proof
the only people we were going to deport was murderers and rapists when voters, myself included, understood that we were going through mass deportations and we were going to actually enforce our immigration laws. And yet somehow we're hung up on, no, Donald Trump never said that. That's not true. That's just not fundamentally true. This was mass deportations
based
from
on what?
The beginning.
Based on what? And again, it was about targeting the worst.
Immigration law.
No, it was targeting the worst of the worst, and he talks about the idea of going after the rapists and the murderers, and that's why we have to have the mass deportation program because of the rapists and murderers. The deportation was the justification because of the murderers, not because of this girl in her car from Utah.
It was everybody.
Oh, and so what Donald Trump says.
Well, no,
we got to go to a break.
You're fundamentally wrong on this. All right, we'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to a classic Jeff and Bill debate taking place. Colorado Attorney General suing Mesa County Sheriff's deputy because he assisted federal law enforcement with somebody that was breaking federal law. That's how I see it. He didn't abuse, yell at, hit, act unprofessionally in any capacity. He simply helped federal law enforcement arrest somebody that was breaking federal law. And the power of the state government is going to come down on the sheriff's deputy. And the consequences are that good law enforcement are going to get the heck out of the state. Why continue to work in this state where you're a boogeyman? You're a terrible person, according to the Attorney General of Colorado to the point that you have to be sued because you simply tried to help the federal government enforce a federal law that was being broken.
Does it matter that he was told not to? Does that matter at all in your equation?
100%. Yeah, no, it does matter. It does matter. And I understand. Look, you can make the argument that the law is the law. And you as a law enforcement officer in Colorado, you got to follow it even if you don't like it. And I'm just going to tell you, the result of that, especially as it relates to this law with regards to coordinating with ICE, is just going to result in good law enforcement leaving.
Perhaps it could. But again, the idea that I'm certain that most of the men and women in blue don't agree with all the laws that are passed. And so there's some of that if you're only there because you agree with the laws you're enforcing, that might be a little bit difficult. But I want to go back to the idea that, just for a sec, that Donald Trump was talking about that migrant crime wave and the immigrant crime wave, and that was the justification for the mass deportations. And I understand that you disbelieve me. Let's see if this will play this time.
We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime.
They're coming from prisons. They're coming from jails. They're coming from mental institutions and insane asylums. And bad things are going to happen, and you're seeing it happen all the time. That's why, to keep our families safe, the Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country.
That's weird. I was right. He said that because of all the violence, the people coming in because of the prisons, that's why we are launching the largest deportation. It was the justification. The migrant crime wave was the
Largest
justification.
deportation was so. But you then make the leap that it's only murderers and rapists that Trump's going to get out.
No, what I said, that was the justification. That was my point earlier, and that was the sell, that we were going to go after the criminals first, that we're going to get the worst of the worst. Not necessarily. This young lady isn't the worst of the worst, nor do we have all the Tren de Aragua out of the city of Denver?
And so in your mind, we have to get out only violent criminals, and then there'll be a switch, and ICE will then go after other people that have broken laws. Like
yes, that was the sell. Yeah, that was the sell.
Yeah, I think you were wrong completely.
No, I'm right. Listen, do you want to go back to Trump? Do you want to go back to Trump? Trump just right there reinforced exactly what I said, that because of the crime, we are doing this. It's exactly what I've been saying. And I also said...
No, you're saying only this.
Hang on a sec.
You're saying because of the crime, we are only doing this.
No.
He never said that.
No, yes, he did. He did talk about focusing. Yes, he did. He talked about focusing on the worst of the worst. Yes. And this is the issue. And he doesn't have them all, and he doesn't have a significant portion of them either.
In this like weird fantasy world,
it's not a fantasy
with
world,
unicorns and rainbows,
no, it's
we
not a fantasy
get
world.
all of the violent criminals out first, and then the other people which have already also broken a law, then we'll go after them.
They're not part of that violent migrant crime wave that he sold.
Just hang out. You guys get an extra 6 months.
It's not part of the violent migrant crime wave that he sold us, and that's the issue. And I was clear. I was clear prior to the election and clear afterwards that was a mistake voters were making. That they were assuming that Donald Trump was going to go after the violent criminals.
No.
That instead
I will
the
tell you, as
justification
a Trump
will be
voter, what I wanted was mass deportations. And I remember having my conversations with my friends during the election. How much is it going to be? I said 4 million. 4 million is what I think Trump's going to get out. That's more than twice what Obama got out. And that ain't all violent criminals. And I'm a Trump voter. So to say that somehow I didn't know what Trump was saying, I knew exactly what Trump was saying.
No, I said you knew all the time, but you're not necessarily indicative of all the voters.
If you got somebody, and I love it, if you get pulled over in Georgia, for instance, for running a red light, and this has actually happened, your entire family got deported. That is exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah, but again, there's Donald Trump doing exactly what I said. He said the justification for the mass deportations was because of all the migrant crime and the violence.
No.
Yes. Do you want to play it again?
Justification?
Do you want to play it? Do you want me to play it again?
The justification is you have a whole bunch of people that have all broken the law.
Our
you guys
entire audience
continue
heard
to
it.
make this,
No.
this separation.
Our entire audience
We're only
heard
going to go
Trump say
after
this.
the violent
Our
criminals.
entire audience just heard Trump say that because of the crime and the violence is why we're going after the mass deportations. He used the crime allegedly committed by all the immigrants.
And did he say that he was only going after violent criminals? Did he say he's only going? He used the term mass deportations. Bill, it's all right there. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
We are 710 KNUS.